morning, saints of God. Thank you for joining me this morning. Today is day 10. Yesterday we were talking about, for me to be able to draw up my vision and fulfill my vision, I need to step out of my past. This morning I want us to look at the theme for this morning is I need to see beyond my current circumstance. Yesterday we had to see beyond the past. A lot of us are trapped in the past, and a lot of us are drawing vision that has to do with the past. But I also want you to see beyond your present, because vision, again, like I explained yesterday, it's about what is to come. It's not about what was. It's not about what is. Because then if you focus on what is and what was, you miss the point and you miss the vision. Because when God is giving you a vision, it's about what is to come, and that is what your vision is about. So you cannot let your current circumstance dictate the kind of vision that you draw up. Because I've got £2 in my bank account, I'm not going to think about business. Or because I've got no money in my bank account, I'm not even going to think about business. I'm not going to think about ministry. Or because for example, I haven't got a job, so I'm not even going to think about promotion. Or I'm not going to think about buying a house. Or I'm not even going to think about marrying. Or because I haven't met anyone yet, so even though God is telling me that I'm going to marry and I'm going to have 2 kids, or I should plan for that, I'm not even going to plan for it, because no, the last relationship I was in was really bad, or currently I don't have anyone, so it is impossible. There are times when God will speak over a person, and what he speaks over you, your circumstance does not imitate or reflect it at all. Because when God anointed David to become king, he was a boy. He was a boy when he was only Bible scriptures history. Bible history says that puts him about between the ages of about 18 and 15 when he was anointed that he was going to become king. Does that mean that he shouldn't hold on to that vision? Does that mean that he shouldn't work on the vision? No, it doesn't. Because if you look at his current circumstance at the time, he was in the wilderness looking after his father's sheep. How on earth could that person be becoming a king? It does not look at it. So when God calls you, your current circumstance, you cannot focus on it. You cannot draw up a vision that aligns with your current circumstance, because it's always about what is about to happen. And because it is God that has called you to that vision, brothers and sisters, I tell you what, you are going to succeed and you are going to make it. Because if God has called you to it, he will surely make a way for you to become it. Yesterday we found out in the text when he says that, behold, I'm doing a new thing. God is doing a new thing. He says that he will create rivers in the wilderness, so in the desert. So you've got to believe God. You should not focus on what you've got today in your hand. It's not about what I've got today, but I believe the God that has called me to that vision, and he will fulfill it. Today I want us to look at Gideon, because something fundamental happens with Gideon and an angel that was sent to him. So we're looking at Judges 6 verse 11 to 23. The angel of the Lord came and sat down under the oak tree in Opah that belonged to Joash the Abizrite, where his son Gideon was threshing wheat in the winepress to keep it from the Midianites. You need to understand that this was a time where the children of Israel were under oppression from the Midianites. So he says that when the angel of the Lord appeared to Gideon, he said, "The Lord is with you, mighty warrior." He was called a mighty warrior. And he says that the Lord is with you. Verse 13, he goes, "Pardon me, my Lord," Gideon replied. "But if the Lord is with us, why are all of these things happening to us? Where are all the wonders that our ancestors told us about? Did not the Lord bring us out of Egypt? But now the Lord has abandoned us and given us over to the Midian." The Lord turned to him and said, "Go in the strength that you have and save Israel out of Midian. For am I not sending you?" Come on, God. They are under oppression. The young man is even threshing wheat and hiding it away from the Midianite. So that is his current situation. He's under oppression. But God is saying that I have called you and you will go out and I'm sending you to go and deliver my people from the hands of the Midianite. So looking at his current circumstance and what God was calling him to, the two does not marry at all. The two of them did not marry. So that is why you cannot write a vision. If God gives you such a word, you cannot write a vision based on what you are doing today. That I'm going to increase my wheat growing, threshing. I'm going to increase the threshing floor, or I'm going to thresh more wheat. That's not what God called you for. So if you want to formulate a vision based on what your current circumstance is, that will be an error, because God has called him for something else. So you've got to put in a system and a strategy that takes you to fulfilling that vision that God has given you. Then he turned to him and said, go in the strength that you have and save Israel out of the hands of the Midianite, because I am sending you. And then he goes on to say in the verse 15, pardon my Lord, Gideon replied, but how can I save Israel? My clan is the weakest in Manasseh, and I am the least in my family. Again, he's looking at his current circumstance. He says that my clan is the weakest in Manasseh, and my family is the least, and I am the least in my father's house. So my clan is the least in the whole of Manasseh, and I, Gideon, I am the least in my father's house. And look at where I'm standing right now, my Lord. How can you be sending me? How can you give me a vision that is so big? Because I have been programmed to think that for the only people that can fulfill a vision are the strongest one. Are the ones that are already great, the ones that already got the finances, the ones that look, they've got a stature. When God sent Samuel to go and anoint one of Jesse's sons as king, he was ready to anoint the older son. But God said to him, no, this is not him. I have rejected him. I do not look at the outward appearance. I look at the heart of man. I do not look. So he is saying my father's clan is the least in Manasseh. And I, Gideon, I am the least in my father's house. How can you give me such a great vision? And that is the question many of us are saying. And so then we begin to doubt the vision. And then we begin to doubt what God has called us into. Or we begin to refuse to do it. Or begin to draw up visions that do not align with the will of God for our life. The Lord answered, I will be with you, and you will strike down all the Midianites, leaving none alive. Gideon replied, if now I have found favor in your eyes, give me a sign that you are really taking me. Please do not go until I come back and bring an offering and set it before you. He says, go, and you will strike down the Midianites and leave none alive. You make it seem that you are weak. You are the least in your father's house. I already know that. Your clan, your father's tribe is the least in his clan, in the clan of Manasseh. I know that, but I have still chosen you. And I have given you that big vision. And I've given you that big calling. And I've given you that big thing. And you will achieve it, because you know why you're going to achieve it? Because you are not going with your own strength. It is God that will pour out his strength on you. It is God that will pour wisdom on you. It is God that will bring you resources to fulfill the vision. So I hope you can begin to understand the reason why it is so important that you make sure your vision aligns with the will of God. Because if God calls you to it, brothers and sisters, you will surely achieve it, and you will surely become it. He says, I will put my strength in you. I have given you strength. You may think you were weak, but with me on your side, you are strong, and you will strike them all down. And with God on your side, you will achieve it all. With God on your side, you will begin to make it in the name of Jesus. And begin to pray with me, someone, and say, Father, Lord, I may be the weakest. I may come across as the weakest. I may come across as the least educated. I may not have the social standing. I may not have the finances. I may not seem to have the opportunities, but you have called me. And I put my trust in you. I put my faith in you. I believe you that once you have called me, Lord, I will not draw up this vision based on my current circumstance at all. Because if I look at my current circumstance, I am the weakest. If I look at my current circumstance, my clan is the least. If I look at my current circumstance, my bank account is in red. If I look at my current circumstance, I don't even have the education. If I look at my current circumstance, I don't have the connections. If I look at my current circumstance, it doesn't look possible. But I know that, behold, you are doing a new thing, God. I know that you are about to do something. I know that you are doing something so relevant. God refers to a man always by your future name. Because when the angel came, he said, thou mighty man of valor. He says, mighty man of warrior. God, he was not a warrior at the time. He was threshing wheat, hiding it from the Midianites. But when the angel of God came, he says, mighty man. When God calls a man, he always refers to your future name. He always refers to the name that he has ordained for you. Whether you bear that name now or not, God will call that name. And that is the same way that God will inspire a vision over you, a vision for your life in the mighty name of Jesus. Oh, many of us are like Gideon, and we are looking at our current circumstance. Many of us are like Gideon, and we are saying that, Father, I am weak. Many of us are like Gideon, and we are complaining, and we are murmuring. Many of us are like Gideon, and we are holding on to what we haven't got. But I've called you this morning, and I want you to begin to pray and say, Father, Lord, help me draw up the right vision according to your will. Father, let me accept the vision. For some of us, God has already given you the vision, and you know the vision, but you are struggling to hold on to that vision. You are struggling to fulfill that vision. You are struggling to accept that vision, and you are struggling to write it down because it is too big. It is too big. God, this vision that you have given me is fulfilled by millionaires, and this vision that you're giving me is filled by princes and princesses, and this vision that you're giving to me is filled by CEOs and the children of directors and the children of CEOs and the children of royalty. But you have given me this, a poor, lowly individual like me, and nobody like me. Come on, brothers and sisters. You are not playing. You should know who you are talking to. It's God. We're not dealing with men. We're not dealing with people. We're not dealing with the devil. They are the ones that wants to look at who you are before they do something for you. They want to look at what your connection is and what your education is and what your background is before they give you anything. But when it comes to God, he will choose a man from lowly places. He will choose a woman with nothing and begin to put you in higher places. And he will begin to elevate you and accept the elevation of God, accept the promises of God, accept the vision of God, and begin to step into greatness in the mighty name of Jesus. Oh yes, Lord, Father, I speak over somebody this morning, and let them be ushered into the place that you have called them. Let them be ushered into the greatness that you have destined for them. Let them be ushered into the place, into the vision. Oh my God, the vision is about the future. I speak into their future right now in the name of Jesus. May someone step into their future. May someone begin to take steps into their future. May they begin to take steps into fulfilling that future. May they begin to take steps into fulfilling that vision over your life. Because if you continue after this, I would encourage you to continue with the Gideon story. You realize that he goes on and God does mighty things with him. And that is how God is about to do mighty things that will blow your mind and the minds of the people that are around you. Thank you very much for joining me this morning. I'm so excited. I think we've run over a little bit, but I thank God for your life and I bless him. And we are all growing up in the Lord in the mighty name of Jesus. Come back tomorrow and let us have a catch up of what God has to say about vision. Be blessed. Hit the subscribe button and the notification button. Share this with someone and be a blessing to the life of someone. God richly bless you, and I love you.